Thank you for joining me, Lawrence. For some of you that may not be familiar with him, he is a huge proponent as far as being involved in the cosplay scene, both as a creator and a producer of content online. Over the years, it's been about 2017, about Sabacon,
Yes.
where we met, and you happened to be cosplaying Bakugo, I was cosplaying Midoriya, and it's been a fun time seeing your growth. Etsy, Instagram, YouTube,
Twitter,
multiple platforms, definitely. In the sense of that, I wanted to incorporate your involvement with the community in inspiring people to live more healthy and positive lives. And so I just wanted to ask a couple questions. I had a lot of people that inspired me in the past with like Goku and also Bruce Lee, people that are physically fit and physically active, but also had a good balance and inspiring positivity among others. So for the question, what role does staying active play in your life?
Staying active? You mean like physically fit and active? To me, staying fit has always been, it's kind of like a medium that allows me to build confidence, because in a way you have control over your body, and like seeing the results, seeing that the efforts you put in pays off, builds confidence. Because it's not like you can see the results in the mirror versus like you just having this quality of more confidence where people can tell you look more confident now, and you're like, I don't really see that.
Right.
But at least in the aspect of working out, you see that translated in the mirror, and that just builds confidence internally, and then that bleeds into everything else you do.
Yeah.
So that's why I do it.
Okay, cool. How did you feel you developed the desire to incorporate the strenuous activity or it doesn't have to be necessarily working out, it can be like athletics as well, into your life?
How?
Yeah, was there any point where there was an athlete or someone that just really motivated you?
Oh yeah,
sure.
Like I grew up like a nerd, and I played like a bunch of video games. So in middle school I was like out of shape and stuff. But then like I wanted to change that image of myself when I came to high school, because it's a whole new school, new chapter. And so I joined track and field because I wanted to fit in. That's didn't want to not fit in. That's me in middle school. And like I watched a lot of anime, and a lot of the anime, especially shonen, inspires. It has a lot of like go for it and work hard, kind of theme. So that definitely drives me. Some characters that inspire me. I can't think of any on top of my head right now, but like besides being super like into My Hero, it's like Deku, of course, where he started off as the underdog. I love the narrative of the underdog. So in a way, like I was saying, like in middle school, I was out of shape. So it was like the underdog climb. So that was always really cool for me, and that's one of the reasons why I do what I do. So because I know a lot of people are in that stage of their life where they're that low, but you don't have to stay low. You can work your way up, and that's one of the reasons. And did that answer your question of how?
Yeah,
I got
definitely.
Into it?
Yeah, absolutely. For myself, I would say that I didn't always have that mentality of trying to incorporate like any kind of physicality. It was also kind of to impress the girls.
It's true.
Shameless plug is like
going
around.
When you're like a teenager, that's all it is.
Yeah, I was definitely like I wanted to join the football team.
Oh, I was in the football team too?
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of it was like I wanted the whole like American like high school experience. So
the jocks and the cheerleaders.
The jocks. But like don't get me wrong, like I also wanted to learn dance.
Okay.
Because like that would get me over my stage fright, and it got me into different circles. So I wanted everything that they offered for free. I wanted to like milk it because I didn't have that opportunity earlier on. So I just wanted to be the whole package. So but like later on I started valuing, like it was like the Scott Pilgrim moment. He's like, he learned the power of self-respect, and it's just like, that was like the thing.
Yeah.
So my other question is, what is your thought process behind sharing your personal process? And it's a very vulnerable thing for you to convey that on your socials. Mm-hmm. Is it kind of like a diary for yourself to like reflect back on, or is it for?
It's for. Sorry, just go ahead and finish the question.
Or I mean, a lot of times there's that like side commenting or like subliminal like outwardly posting to like whoever. I know for myself, I sometimes post things out there to reach someone, and hopefully they notice. But like, it's like, notice me, senpai. But I don't know how it is for you.
Honestly, I get you, like, where you're coming from, especially in the beginning. Like you said, it's all like you just post. Hopefully, somebody will like notice, and people do notice, especially nowadays in social media. Like, eyeballs are everywhere, and for you, like, you have to reach in and think about why you want to do it. So, like for example, you're doing this video because you want to inspire people to be active, or like pursue a better lifestyle, and that's perfectly fine. And you just keep doing what you're doing. So for me, the reason why I share my story is because, like I said, the underdog. There's a lot of people are the underdog, I feel, and like that's the audience I'm reaching out to, because it's more like you're here right now. You're at your low point, but you don't have to stay there. You can keep climbing. And I'm not just preaching that, but I'm practicing that because I've done it. I've done this and that. So I'm speaking out of experience. So and I think that's why a lot of people are attracted to my story, because it's like I've done it, not just giving advice on it.
Right.
And so I don't give advice on things I haven't done. So that's because I've had role models in my life, air quotes, that gave me advice on things they haven't done, and I didn't want to do that for other people. So that's what I do on my platforms, and that's one of the reasons why people take my word for it, because they know I'm not gonna BS them.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Definitely. That's very sound advice, and coming from it's like you're doing like the Yelp reviews, or like
Yeah,
it's
like
like
honest. It's like if one Yelp review goes bad, right? You have one Yelp review that goes bad because you took it personally.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna be like, okay, where does it end, right? Like, how many other Yelp reviews was just a personal attack, versus someone being transparent, honest, neutral, and always thinking about the audience, because you have to remember it's the audience that's gonna like. The reason why we do this, like the Yelp review is not for you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like this
absolutely.
video is like kind of for you, but it's mostly for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
I definitely like to aim with the mentality of like, no matter what happens, if I'm putting something out there, it's kind of like my legacy. It's the mark that I want to do, and it's like outside of the whole like me trying to better myself to impress other people, like that's kind of like matured over time, and I think that's part of my growth. And I'm not denying it that was a part of me, but still it's like that personal growth of like wanting to make that mark on the earth, and that's that shonen mentality. So
it really is leave the earth better than the way you found it. If we can all do that just a little bit, nothing grand, but if we all do that just a little bit, the world would be so much better. That's that's one of the reasons why I do it, and that's one of the reasons why you do it, and probably you guys watching too. You guys probably do that too.
Yeah. How do you feel you would want others to perceive you as, and what is your desired public identity?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, I honestly don't care. I don't have one. I just want to be myself, and I think that's the best way I'm able to navigate this social media platform, because everyone wants to put an image up, but for me, I've always just been honest with myself, and myself meaning genuine. And however you guys want to perceive me is you're entitled to that view and perspective and opinion, So I think going into this game, into this territory, you have to understand that you might try to be a good person, but there'll always be someone or a group of people that disagree with you, and that will crush you. So just be yourself and respect other people's opinion or how they perceive you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, I don't really have one. I just want to be myself, genuinely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very it's very empowering for a lot of people, because there's always that person I want to be known as such and such. For myself, a lot of my public identity it's kind of up in the air, and accepting myself as a title. I think I would like to be known as a storyteller, more or less, because those are the stories that get carried over from people to people. The stories that were told before are the ones that impact me to make me kind of aspire to be something greater. And so for me, outside of being anything else, I would want to be a storyteller. But I also, other side to that is in the future, I would honestly really like to be a kick-ass father.
Well, that's super cool. Those are good goals. Yeah, all the way. Yeah.
And husband too. Oh gosh, yeah, husband.
Just father.
Yeah. But yeah.
Straight to dad.
So, with the experience of trying to maintain health, it can be a solitary one. Whenever you're like on the grind and you're laser focused, it can be kind of like just lonesome at times. What do you feel should be done to reinforce a positive shared experience in maintaining good health? Meaning like finding that balance of like
friends, family, and your health, and
and there's always
financial stability, all that other stuff.
Right, and there's a lot of like critics, saying like, oh, where, like, that song from Fort Minor, "Where Do You Go? I Miss You So." Because the story is like that person being on the grind. Like, how do you feel that can be like made to be more balanced?
To answer that question, that's a good question. It's something I've always thought about, in my opinion, where that individual might want that person's attention, that person's on the grind, and it kind of ruins the relationship, right? I think it's not right or it's not wrong. It comes down to communication between you and your friends. Figure out or your partner at the time. You need to figure out what it is that you want, and if they need to communicate what they want, and you guys got to reach that happy ground. And everyone has their own preference. Like, I might like tuna, like sushi. You might like salmon. There's nothing wrong with that,
right.
But we can communicate and be like, I'll get you salmon, you get tuna. For me, it's awesome, it's great.
Yeah.
But then, the problem comes when there's no communication. And so it goes back to the theme of being yourself and not conforming or molding yourself to be like that concept of like, oh, I want to find that perfect balance, because your perfect balance might be off balance for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it like that. And then you need to find yourself and look within yourself. And then at the same time, like your partner hopefully will have that actualization and reciprocate that back to you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect harmony.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's that's definitely one that I have found to be like really important, is having that transparency between like you and the people like around you that are your support system ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not if that's not translated or kind of communicated and understood and perceived in that position, a lot of it can be misconstrued as like, oh, like I don't want to be with you. It's like, no, like I don't want to be a burden on you at the same time, but also like I'm doing this because of us, like because I want to like push and propel, because like ultimately that grind is going to take everyone higher, and that's what I feel is like really important. I like to live by the saying, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out by pushing others higher, because I know that in turn they'll be in a better place, and if they remember me, I know that they'll be reaching out to bring me up. So
it's like that saying, help enough people get what they want, and you can get whatever you want.
Yeah,
kind of deal. And it really is. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Like, I think personally it helped me, because I started off this community. I started in this community, winning a masquerade, and it was good for me, like costume masquerade. But that was like for me, and like no one cared. And no, really. And so I started thinking like, okay, how can I make it so that it's more valuable to other people and make it impactful to them? And that's when I started my YouTube channel, started teaching people how to make stuff, because I'm like, this is during the time people started sharing trade secrets, but not so much yet.
Yeah.
But in a way, for me, I've always been like it runs in my family. We've always been like teachers. So for me, I was like, this is something I know how to do, and I want to be able to teach that with other people. And so because of that just giving to others first, like that's come back and helped me so much.
Right.
And I know.
Yeah, definitely. One more question for you. And
last one? No. Go for it.
Yeah. I have one more question, and this is one that can like come up with like a lot of people that don't really have like anything, like they just might be like really giddy, that they just come across you and like they don't really get to know you, but like it can come from an honest and innocent place. How can I be more like you, for the audience perspective?
Oh, what do you mean by more like me?
I think that would be like in terms of like your place and your status, your
like achievement, my merits.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I can say that. I can tell you guys that, but it goes back. It contradicts what I said. Be yourself. So, being yourself, be happy and practice self-love will get you to what I want you to get to. Like, don't do it like me. Don't do it like you or anyone else, but do it like you. Because no one else is going to tell your story the way you're meant to tell it. Does that make sense? So at the same time, I don't want to mold people to be like me or like someone else, but you have your own like flavor and your own story that only you can tell. And like self-love, and that's, practice that and you'll get there. That's all it is. Yeah.
Definitely. I know that I usually get that question from other people who are like the youth, and so like I wanted to have that be a question that answers that for all the little ones that they don't know how to necessarily articulate it, but it's definitely important. I want to include them with understanding on that. But definitely, I feel the same way in terms of like being yourself. And my sign off for a lot of my live Twitch streams is explore your full potential and be the hero of your own story. And that kind of like harkens back to what my mantra is, or what my mission statement is like, I want to stand as the hero, but the term abandoned is referring to dormant or unawakened, or like the dreaming hero. Like, I always feel like I'm not there yet, and I'm not there yet in terms of being the hero, but I do want to be the hero eventually. But will I get there? It's always going to be more advanced.
It's the journey, man. It's not the destination.
Exactly.
Like you said, if you're the hero, then you're there, and it's like, okay, that's the ending. What's like, there's no story, and so you like that climb, right? You want that. You're still climbing, and you're still telling the story, and you don't know where it's gonna end, but you're excited for when you get there. I think that's the message you want to leave, right? Like, inspire people.
All right, cool. Well, definitely, I can't say anything more than thanks for you sharing your time. Feel free to have any sign-offs for anyone.
Any sign-offs? He didn't tell me this, so I'm not prepared. But thank you guys for watching this. If you guys stuck all the way through, much love. If there was a message that I wanted to leave behind, it would be love yourself, be open-minded. You don't have to respect everyone, but you should never disrespect anyone. Does that make sense?
Wow, yeah. That's actually like that's pretty deep. And if you think about it, there's always a duality to things, and definitely sit on that. And on that note, thank you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good.
This is a new segment I'm making in service of tracking my progression and my fitness goals. Consider FreeThinking fitness videos as a way to have a workout buddy to talk about motivation, exploring ways to make exercise interesting, occasionally sharing some thoughts on common interests within anime, gaming, and other media. I'm the Abandoned Hero. Explore your true potential and be the hero of your own story.